Oh, we're recording.
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay.
We're actually doing something now, yes.
Okay, cool. Could you tell your neighbors to quiet it down a little bit? There's music playing in the background. I don't know if the audiences can hear.
I'm pretty sure they can't because we're very close to the mics, as you can see.
Okay, the mics aren't going to pick up on the back. Okay.
No, they're directional. They're going right into our mouths.
Aren't you offended that your neighbors had a party and didn't invite you?
No.
Wait. Aren't you so mad? I feel like this is Regina George in Dreamgirls when she's like, but wait.
In Dreamgirls? I loved her in Dreamgirls.
Did I say Dreamgirls?
Yes.
I meant Mean Girls when she's like, but wait, aren't you so mad that I told you?
It's
or
great.
She told me or whatever.
Clearly, you know everything about this movie. You know its title. You know what it's all about. I think that's great.
She's like, it was a really bitchy thing to do. I guess it
was great.
Bitchy, but I kind of.
Please don't read through all of Mean Girls. We have a podcast to do. We have things to talk about, things to discuss.
I have had a rough week.
It's
girl.
True. I should be nice.
I'm going to be riffing off Mean Girls for the entire.
I'm glad you're
45
here.
plus minutes of this podcast. Thank you.
It's good.
Thank you.
I think it's good to get out of the house. I feel like you might have been home and selling. And so I think this is a nice change of pace.
Thank you so much for caring.
You know, that's what I do.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Two Gay Mats podcast. It's Matt Steele.
It's Matt Palmer.
And another week has gone by. We have given our thanks.
Yes.
It has been a celebratory week.
We love celebrations.
For some of the week. And Matt Palmer, what did you do? How was your Thanksgiving? Who did you see?
My Thanksgiving was lovely. I, stayed in LA and went to Jackson's family's for real Thanksgiving. And then for Friday, Janie, our friend, had us both over for a Friendsgiving. That was lovely. I made a lot of food. I made dressing. I made macaroni and cheese.
Oh, I forgot your dressing. The leftovers are still in my fridge. I'm going to heat that up when I get home. I should.
The dressing is very good when you rewarm it. I hope you have canned cranberry sauce at home, because if you have real cranberry sauce or no cranberry sauce, neither is acceptable. So
okay, well.
You've got to do the can. And then what else? We made the cheesecake. That actually was more Jackson. And then I made a sweet potato pie. So it was like, I now know how to do a lot of things that, I grew up having as a young person. And it's nice. It's nice to know that, like, worst case scenario, for whatever reason, I cannot go home for a special holiday. Like, I don't go home for Thanksgiving in general. I am able to bring a little bit of Atlanta with me. It's like how Karen Huger says on Potomac that Surrey is always within her. Atlanta is always within me. You know?
Yes, exactly. Like the musical Memphis, how he's like, Memphis lives in me.
Oh, does that happen?
Yeah, it's a song. That. It was written by the same people who wrote Diana.
Yes.
And it has Chad Kimball, who, we no longer speak of, I guess, in the Broadway community.
Wait, what happened to him?
He's a little...
Anti-masker? Anti-vaxxer?
Not totally.
Okay.
It's not evident that he is, but he did have a weird post once that was about like, I should be able to sing in church because it is because the church he went to was like no singing during COVID and everything.
Well, because you don't want to spread the disease.
Yeah, and he was mad about that.
Oh, well, sweetie.
Yeah, so it's very questionable where Chad Kimball stands.
Okay.
So, but what are we going to do? But yeah, my Thanksgiving was also very lovely.
Yes.
I went to Austin and because my friend who moved out there almost a year ago now, he bought a house out there. And so our friend group, we all went and visited him. Tuesday, we saw the Capitol, ran around the city. And then Wednesday, we ran around the city some more. It was really fun.
What did you make for Thanksgiving?
I made Brussels sprouts.
Oh, you did
I
make
did.
something.
I did on Thursday. I made Brussels sprouts and it was fine. It was just Brussels sprouts, oil, salt, pepper, a little bit of chili peppers.
Did you hate every second of it?
I hated every second. But it was easy. I just chopped the Brussels sprouts. I love if I'm cooking, a good mindless task to do, where it's just I'm just chopping these.
What's going to happen if you marry a man that does not know how to cook?
I'll have to divorce him.
Okay, that's a good solution. The thing is, you, as you have admitted, can cook.
Yes, I can.
So what's...
honestly, I just add Romano cheese to everything and everyone's like, wow, this is amazing.
Well, people like that.
People love it. That's the secret to everything. Just add Romano cheese and everyone loves it. But every time I have cooked, it has been a success in some sort of way.
What'd you do post-Thanksgiving once you got back in LA?
Well, Friday, I got on a plane and slept on the plane, had a lovely little sleep on the plane.
Yes.
And as I landed, got devastating news, and now I'll be miserable forever. But then also, like, afterwards, I went to Janie's.
Yes.
Right to Janie's. Well, I went home first and cried a little bit, and then went to Janie's, where I did not make anything. I just came and ate the food.
Hey, that's a great Friendsgiving, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I already made Brussels sprouts the day before. I'm not, making anything else. Like, get out of here. Like, a girl's busy.
Well, I mean, as you can see, well, not you guys in the audience, but you, Matt Steele, we have put up some Christmas lights. We have Christmas lights. We have a tree that I purchased for our home in the past. And it is now here, and it is sitting in a nice spot where you can see it from the outside. We have colored lights then on the outside. We have like a little bit of a V formation in the front lawn.
Now that you have a front yard, it's beautiful. And I love how your decision to put the tree there was based on, can you see it from the outside?
Absolutely.
Like, is there a view of the tree from the windows?
Because don't you want like people walking by to feel joyful and like, oh, in the Christmas spirit? Because I do.
I don't want anyone walking by to see into my house at all.
Well, I guess it would be weird in the apartment that you're in if someone was walking by.
Yeah.
That would be weird. That's true.
Yeah.
But I think it's nice. This is, a neighborhood that has a lot of single family homes, a lot of smaller homes. People take little walks with their kids and give them a show, darling. Give them some lights.
Give them a show. Right now it's just the lights, and then gradually the ornaments will come.
It's true.
I love a gradual decoration of the Christmas tree.
I love them too, but I'm going home on December 15th, so it can't be so gradual.
Okay.
We need to get on it.
Well, then when are you taking the tree down? It can stay up a little bit after.
But I mean, what did Taylor say? We can keep our Christmas lights up until January.
Until January.
That'll be us.
I want to say we've had the Christmas tree up a couple years ago, like until like February at one point.
Me and you? Absolutely
I want to say
not.
so.
No. Not until February. No, that's a lie. You've lied to everyone.
I want to say this is my memory, and my memory tends to be better than yours.
Well, this is not about Christmas and Christmas lights and where things go and the things that like you didn't actually have to put up or take down. So like maybe I would remember more.
Yeah, I've never helped you put up that damn Christmas tree, have I?
It's like when we set up for the podcast, you're just also there.
I set up these lights here.
You did, and we thank you.
Because I know how to do that.
That's true.
And you told me today, look, we're doing new things. We got a new lens.
We do. I mean, we're trying lenses, darling, and the camera's closer than it's been in years.
Exactly. So it's very, very. I mean, the audience can't see this.
It's true, but we're just giving you the behind the scenes, the BTS.
We're trying new things. Artists always have to evolve and change and try new things and not worry about what people feel about it.
True.
Just like a certain someone who we'll talk about shortly.
Yes. Well, before we go into him, I just also want to say other things about a weekend that were really good. Went to Sugarfish, which is a sushi place.
Oh, money! Did you get a bonus or something?
No, it just was a night. It was like a couple of his cousins are going to college in California, and so we're like, they wanted to go to Sugarfish because we had mentioned it, and so it was like, yeah, we all went. And then also, I went over to my friend Joe's house, and we played a game that sounds ridiculous and like it wouldn't be fun at all. It's called Overcooked 2 on the Switch, and basically you all are different people working in a kitchen, and it's like, okay, we have to make this plate of sushi, and we need the rice to be done and the rice to be cooked and the dishes to be washed and to like someone to chop up the fish and prepare it so that it can get out, and if it doesn't get out quickly enough, you lose. And I'm like, this is the most fun I've ever had.
I kind of like that because it's like you're all working together.
Yes.
I guess so. It's like a team thing, and it's I love a role play moment, and I hate games, but if it's like sort of like a role play sort of type thing where you're like socializing with each other in some sort of way to work together, I kind of like that.
I was wondering, do you think it would like be too close to home for you? Because not that you work in the kitchen, but you're at a restaurant. Like, would it be like you're working for pleasure? Like, what would that feel like if you played this game? Do you think?
I mean, I'm an excellent multitasker at the restaurant.
Oh, great.
So I think I would be good at this game.
Right. You have to be very verbal, is what I learned. It's
I'm
a lot about communication.
I talk way too much, as you already know. I'm a Gemini, so I'm a great communicator. I'm not great with like buttons on the whatever switches.
Yes, it's not a lot. It's not hard.
Okay. Because whenever I play like a video game of some sort, which I haven't done in like over a decade, girl, I literally just like mash all the buttons and hope for the best.
Well, okay. You have to try is the part. You have to like have somebody like, oh, you press X at this point.
Yeah, but I get like so excited like when there's a game. Not excited because I'm not excited to be playing a game, but like I get so like my adrenaline's pumping that I'm just like and I can't like concentrate. Like okay, now I hit X, now I hit AC4 or whatever.
Okay, well, something to work on. A game that I can recommend to any Switch users out there, Overcooked 2. I'm gonna probably buy it for my own Switch because it just was so fun.
Okay,
so fun.
They should be paying us.
They really should. This is literally an ad. So, anyways, are you emotionally prepared to talk about our first news story in News for Idiots?
No.
Okay. Well,
I mean, but I will.
Stephen Sondheim, the revered and influential composer, lyricist behind some of Broadway's most beloved and celebrated shows, passed away at 91 over the weekend. Our hearts went out to Matt Steele immediately. Matt Steele, how did you feel? How did you hear? I'm sorry for your loss.
So we landed in Los Angeles, and I had just woken up from a nap, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to like get the Uber and get home, and everything. And all of a sudden, I had about like 40 text messages from friends, like with just like crying emojis and literally phrases being like, "I love you all so much." Like all my musical theater friends like, just being there for each other. And I was just like, oh God, who died? Who died now? And I knew it wasn't Angela Lansbury. Like something was telling me it wasn't Angela.
I love that you're always thinking it could be Angela.
It could be Angela.
How old is she?
She's in her 90s.
Okay.
I want to say she's like 91 as well, 92. I don't know. But I was like, no, something's telling me that it's not that. And I'm like, let me just check and see who it is. Let me go on Twitter. I went on Twitter. And when I tell you, the entire plane heard the gasp I let out. And Matt Bridges, who I was traveling with, was just like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Like he probably thought there was like a terrorist attack or something.
Yeah, he was
crazy.
Nervous on that plane.
Oh, like I have never gasped so hard in my life. And I just covered my eyes for what felt like 7 hours.
Did you tell Matt Bridges what has happened?
I just like showed him my phone and it probably took him a while to find out what was like trending. And he was just like, what can I do? He was just like, what can I do? And
That's
I was
a
just
good
like,
friend.
I don't know. It's just so crazy because he was out and about. He was making appearances. He was just on, we talked about it on 2 Gay Mats. He was on the Colbert Report a couple months ago saying he was working on new material. He was just at the first preview for the Broadway production of Company that reopened 2 weeks ago. And so he was there and he was looking great. And we're just like, yes, he's going to live forever. And to have him pass away so suddenly, I mean, this is the most prolific death of a celebrity I will ever live through. I'm pretty sure. Like just the impact. If you're a 2 Gay Mats fan who's not super into musical theater, that just the impact that this human being had, not just on Broadway, not just as musical theater as a medium, but just as on art as art. It's so monumental that I truly like don't have words to come up with. And so I will definitely come up short in this 2 Gay Mats video when it comes to expressing my feelings. I mean, and it's just so crazy because I don't know what's going on your social media feeds, but when I say literally everything on my feeds, Twitter, Facebook, it's still all, it's been over 48 hours. It's still all Stephen Sondheim stuff. Just people being like, I love this lyric.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm seeing a lot of lyrics floating about that I'm just attributing to Mr. Sondheim.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that's what's happening. I did, I had my first run-in with Mr. Sondheim doing Into the Woods Jr. back in the day as Rapunzel's prince. Please clap.
We all love Matt Palmer as Rapunzel's prince, ladies and gentlemen.
But I know that he meant so much to you, and so I am sorry. I know it was, and I also feel like even though he was 91, so if you're not plugged in, you could be like, well, why is this shocking? The fact that he was so recently in public and announcing an upcoming musical that he's working on, I think even his lawyer said that it was very unexpected when he announced his passing. I can see why the musical theater world is very shaken up at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, just not, it's so interesting because, an actor dies and all their, there's the work, but like when a creator of something, like not to say that being an actor is not being a creator, but like he had such a distinct and amazing philosophy of writing and writing musical theater specifically that, people like have the books Finishing the Hat and Look, I Made a Hat, which is literally all of his lyrics where he like dissects all of them and they read from it as if it's, this like philosophical work. I mean, at the tribute today at TKTS where many Broadway cast members sang his song Sunday in Times Square, Lin-Manuel Miranda was of course like up there with the second Look, I Made a Hat, reading from it as if it was like the 10 Commandments on like the slate or something,
right?
and his desire to always like push the medium of musical theater forward constantly and to constantly reinvent himself and to try new things. He really is such an inspiration to anyone who creates anything, even if you're not a musical theater creator or a musical theater artist. Just what he believed in and what he fought for was so inspiring, and how he saw the world. It's just so inspiring, you know, to us as creators, and I'm just emotionally exhausted. I like went home and I watched the National Theater recording of Follies that was in London, and I was just like, oh God, you know, I've just been listening to him on loop for God knows how many hours now.
Yeah.
So it's truly crazy. But you know, we will just have to keep on moving on, as he would say.
That's what he wants.
That's what he wants. And so, yeah, it's just crazy that he passed away right after Tick Tick Boom.
I know. I was thinking
right
that.
before West Side Story.
Right.
Like the fact that his passing is sandwiched in between those two.
Did he work
things.
on West Side Story?
He was the lyricist of West Side Story. It was his first Broadway credit. He just did the lyrics. He was 25 though, so it's like that is insanely young.
Totally.
But of course, he was also a protege to Oscar Hammerstein II, who, of course, in my mind, is the most brilliant human being who's ever walked the face of the planet. I'm a Rodgers and Hammerstein stan, I have to say. And so he got his foot in the door very, very early. He was very lucky. I mean, my friend Lewis said on Twitter, like, they were doing Lifetime, like, tributes to him in, like, the mid 70s when he, like, just, you know, released, you know, had Company and Follies and A Little Night Music and everything. So early into his career, people were doing like Lifetime tributes to him.
Right.
Like that, he is such a prolific human being. And, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, have to see Tick Tick Boom again and cry all the way through it. And then when I see West Side Story, I'm just gonna be like, oh God. And the fact that his voice is in Tick Tick Boom, but just as like spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler alert. His voice is in there as a voice message. Is sort of like he's like this little guardian angel. Like that's his final thing that he did, like leaving a message of just inspiration. And he actually wrote that message himself.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because originally in the script it was written some way, and he was.
And
just
this is
like,
just for the movie he did it.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
And he's
beautiful.
like, I'm gonna rewrite this so it sounds like something I would say. But yeah. Oh, and also I love everyone is sharing all like he would often write letters back to people if they would write letters to him, and people are sharing the letters he would write, and they're so funny.
Really?
He is so hilarious and ridiculous. It's just like, I guess, go on Twitter and search Stephen Sondheim letter. They're all funny. And some people are like starting to write like fake ones as well. And those ones are really funny too. But they're just like something that he would kind of say.
Right.
Like it's very much like, thank you so much for the wonderful recording of your music. I hope I get around to it. I might not. You know, like because people would send him stuff of their own, and he'd be like, "I might not get around to this," but you know, thanks for sending it to me.
Well, may he rest. You know, the 2 Gay Matt send him and his family all the love we
Absolutely.
have. You know.
It's going to be a long life without him.
Yes. Well, speaking of musical, you know, staples for the world, the Grammys were nominated. The nominations were announced, excuse me.
Yes.
And there are a million of them in the general categories for some reason.
I feel like as the years have gone on, there have just been more and more and more.
Well, we'll get to
category.
it, but apparently the New York Times has revealed that the Grammys expanded its 4 main categories 24 hours before their announcement.
Oh.
Then they have the list of the things that were not originally going to be nominated.
Oh, no.
I know, which is just like,
because then they know that that's not going to win.
Well, they're out there. So anyway.
Come on, really? You can't reveal that.
I mean, it's out there already. So we have a million. Record of the year. We have, I'll just talk about a couple of them because again, we have so many. Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga, I Get a Kick Out of You. Justin Bieber, Daniel Caesar and Giveon Peaches. Kiss Me More, Doja Cat. Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish, Montero, Driver's License, Leave the Door Open. Album of the year includes, this isn't even the full list because this is the beginning of the list. Happier Than Ever, Justin Bieber, Justice, Tony Bennett, Lady Gaga. I feel like, Doja Cat, Planet Her. Also,
Donda
by Kanye West and Taylor Swift's Evermore are nominated.
And so is Sour.
And so is Sour.
And so is Montero.
Oh, great.
I know this because I was in a restaurant as the Grammy nominations were happening. So I was watching them live, but I wasn't watching them with sound on like Twitter.
Yeah.
And so you know how the video plays and everything. And for some reason, for Album of the Year, only 5 names were listed visually, but they still announced all the names. So I was like, wait. Sour wasn't nominated, and I was having a heart attack.
Well, I'm glad. Who are you rooting for Sour for Album of the Year?
I would say so. I mean, it's excellent. It's Sour.
It is Sour,
and it feels weird saying this because she's a brand new artist and she's so young. But so is Billie Eilish.
That's true.
Although Billie Eilish was. And like Phineas, her brother, who she worked with on that album, really like were kind of like pushing sound in a very new direction. So I could see that winning more so than like a Sour, which as excellent as it is, isn't the most like revelatory.
It's just like revisiting sound that we grew up with and we love very much, and
but
it's done beautifully.
So good.
It is great. It is great,
and it was such a hit album.
Giant.
So, but also I could see maybe Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett because I mean, it'll
be his last.
It's his last
album.
thing. It would be amazing to see, and I hear it's a lovely album and everything. So,
would you like to hear the nominations that were added?
Oh my God, please! Well, but first of all, I want to say I thought Donda got bad reviews.
I believe it did, which is why it was one of the nominations that was added.
All right,
along with Taylor Swift's Evermore.
Okay,
was added. A Song of the Year, "Kiss Me More" by Doja Cat and "Right on Time" by Brandi Carlile were added. Record of the Year, I find this first one surprising that it was added. Montero was not originally nominated for Record of the Year.
Record of the Year?
And it's like, that me.
That's like one of the biggest songs of the year.
I know. I can't imagine why it would not have been nominated. So I'm glad it's there. Even though I guess it's not winning. Unless, I guess I don't know how this works. Is there another round of voting now that the nominations are out? I would assume so.
Maybe. I don't. It's kind of. I don't know if they do it like the Academy, where like everyone nominates and everyone votes, or they're. I mean, depending on your branch. But also there's the Tony Awards, which there's a separate nominating committee that nominates. And then the theater wing, which is a separate entity, votes.
I think actually that's what happens. I think the voting block is different than the nomination block. Like everyone gets to put up things for nomination, but the actual like Grammy people vote on the winners. I assume. The Grammys are bullshit, as you all know. Ever since Mariah lost that year, Daydream, I'm still mad about it. They're bullshit, but we'll see. So I just think it is very odd that they have been expanded so much because it feels like there are so many artists that got nominated so many times. Like I think Olivia Rodrigo got 7, John Baptiste got like 11, and it's not like I feel like this is bad, but it just kind of like lessens the impact a little bit as like if there are so many nominations in these general categories, it feels like less of a special thing. Like I just feel like expanding it, I understand why it happens on these award shows, but keeping things to 5, like, is that so bad? Like there are going to be upsets, people are going to get snubbed or whatever, but I feel like that is better than like, let's just give everybody a nomination to make everybody happy.
Well, I do wonder if it's also because so many people can easily release music now.
True.
You know, people can release music independently now, whereas like in years prior, decades prior, they haven't been able to do that.
Right,
so,
but I'm imagining few to no independent artists got nominated.
Of course, yeah, but I feel like there's more musical content out there to be consumed and to possibly become a hit or possibly get on radars of Grammy voters. So, I mean, I do hear what you're saying, but like I understand maybe they should be expanded, but that's expanded by a lot.
It's by a lot.
Like that's by like there are so many like new artist Grammy nominations.
Like, I can't read all these artists.
I feel like I'm nominated for best new artist.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I deserve
mean, you and
it.
Phineas do look a little alike.
We could be brothers. Yeah. Why isn't he getting me Grammy? If he's my brother, why isn't he just getting Billy the Grammys?
Sorry, Billy's the star.
Hook me up, Phineas. Write some show tunes for me to perform. I love a patter song with very limited vocal range.
That's very specific. And in the least surprising news of the year, Adele's 30 has debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. She's had the largest first week of anyone this year, of course, 839,000 equivalent album units, which means like the sales plus the streams. I think it was over 600,000 actual sales, which is amazing and obviously the biggest of the year. I think she has sold more in that initial week than anyone has sold of an album in the past 11 months, which is just like iconic.
Okay.
But it's also like, so are we just never going to live through a million selling album in its first week again? Is that just a thing of the past?
I don't know.
If Adele can't do it, no current artist can.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We got to do it. We got to figure out when Phineas makes his album for me. I'm going to do it.
I love that of the two of us. Yeah. You will be releasing an album that sells over 1 million copies.
I thought it's so funny. I thought you were saying, of the two of us, meaning between you and Phineas, that Phineas will be the one helping me with the album as opposed to you.
No, I feel like you and Phineas are going to work great together.
Oh, wow. You don't want to write a song for me?
I mean, I don't really do patter or emotionally close. We give them range, darling. Let's jump them up an octave in the chorus.
How about you and Phineas collab?
We'll work.
You write, he'll produce, and I will be in the recording studio and being like, can't hit that. Can we change it? Why are we sitting on G's, Matt Palmer? I don't do well on a G.
This is going to be like Sierra's Goodies all over again. One note and excellent.
I can do that.
And 1-2 Step, both excellent songs.
I can sing those songs, and I can perform the shit out of those songs.
That's true.
Hope the audiences like Faces.
Just as Sierra could too, just so we're clear.
Yeah,
Sierra
of course.
Was a performer.
Of course.
Yes.
But we're very different performers. I don't want to compare myself to Sierra.
Yeah, you're not a dancer.
I can dance.
You move well.
I do.
Yes.
I would call myself an excellent mover.
Yeah.
That's what I say at auditions for musical theater. They're like, how's your dancing? And I'm like, I'm an excellent, excellent, excellent mover. Don't ask me to turn.
And then do they immediately ask you to leave? Like, what happens after that?
No, they're just like, we'll just go to this dance call and see how you do. And I don't do well.
Do you go to the call, though?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah. And I'm always like pissed. I'm always like, God damn it. God damn it.
Well, I mean, and a bit more. Well, also, wait, I just heard this as well. Oh my God, it's going to be the second single on Adele instead of I Drink Wine.
Oh.
Iconic.
Okay, good.
Yes. It's just like all is right in the world. And speaking of all being right in the world, All Too Well, Taylor's version, 10-minute version, is the #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100. And if there's any great thing, there's a million great things that come out of the re-release and all that Taylor has to do to get control of her masters. But the fact that we can reward the songs that deserve to be rewarded at the time, we can say All Too Well is a #1 hit. It feels like when All I Want for Christmas Is You became #1. It's like, yes, it should have been #1 all along. All Too Well has touched so many people, so many lives. This is a song that's deserving of the top spot. I look at the Billboard chart some weeks and I'm like, who the fuck is that? At the top spot. And even though that music video or short film, which we haven't discussed a lot, is a little ridiculous, that song is lovely and perfect. The 10-minute version I'm liking more and more as I'm listening to it.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
Because sometimes initially, and I still feel this way, that we do need both versions, but I just am finding myself returning to that 10-minute version so often. It is the longest #1 song in history, over 10 minutes, beating, I believe it was American Pie. That was the longest prior to. So congrats to both the ladies that we just reviewed.
It's amazing because it's All Too Well was a song that just the Taylor fans just love so
Yes.
much. And it's so nice that it's finally getting the airplay so that the general public who doesn't, follow Taylor Swift
Yes.
at every breath like how we do, they suddenly know it now because they should know. And because I feel like people who don't follow Taylor Swift, they're just like, oh, she just writes like Shake It Off and stuff. Like she just, writes like the catchy songs and everything. But it's just like, no. She is a fucking artist.
She's Joni Mitchell, bitch.
Yes. She can destroy you
Honestly.
with a flick of her guitar.
I have gotten multiple texts this week that are just like, All Too Well is so fantastic, and I had no idea. I've never listened to this song before in my life.
Yes, and it's like it's always been fantastic.
It's always been fantastic.
But now you know.
Now you know. You're welcome. And thank you, Taylor. But you're welcome from me. Coming out, Colton's coming out.
I saw that, girl.
See that poster of him in that backwards hat? Still masked.
Still masked.
Might be gay, but I'm still masked.
Don't worry, guys.
Coming to Netflix December 3rd, chronicles Colton's coming out story as he reveals he is gay to his family and friends, with cameras following his journey. He also addresses the controversy that surrounded him coming out.
Okay.
Oh, I'm glad it's being addressed.
Let's go, Colton. Did I talk on the podcast how I am good friends with someone who
I think you did.
I talked about, yeah. I texted him when the title came out. I was like, girl, what's this? I was like, what's this title? But what else would you call it?
Honestly,
I don't know.
Let's get straight to the point with it. Like, this is what we're doing. But
coming out, Colton. I guess it's better than Colton coming out, because it's more he's coming out as himself, the true Colton.
Right.
Which is lovely.
Yeah.
I
think it's interesting the gay guides are not, do you think they've been cut out because of the negative feedback? I haven't heard anything about the gay guides. And there was so much talk of the gay guides initially when we heard about this Netflix project. I hope they haven't been scrubbed from the show. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. I know. Okay. But you're not responding because you know.
Because I can't say.
You've never been this quiet in our entire lives together. So clearly you know something.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I love that okay is your response.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see it. I hope that it goes well for him. I feel like people are still mad about it. And I again think it's going to do more good than harm. And so I'm not super mad at him or mad that this is happening. But I'll watch and see.
I'm very interested to watch to see how they address the problematic thing about him stalking his ex-girlfriend and everything. I'm interested to see the dimension.
Yeah.
If afterwards, if I'll think differently about that situation, or I would assume I'll have a little more empathy towards it, but I'll still probably just be like,
I would love to hear from her, but that feels like a reach to me. I feel like if I were Cassie and Colton was like, hey, can you be on my show so I can clear my name? I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear from her directly. Maybe she'll have a tell-all interview that comes out the same day, but either way, I want more coming out. So I hope that the coming out story inspires younger people to come out and feel safe and feel seen and all of that.
Yes.
And sorry, I'll go quick. I know you don't watch The Bachelor, but in sad Bachelor news, Tayshia and Zach broke up, and a lot of these couples I don't trust, I don't believe in. I thought they were going to make it.
I'm sorry.
They ran the marathon together, but then it's did Zach make Tayshia run the marathon? That's kind of being tossed around. I just am he's in recovery, and she was so supportive of that, and she is nothing but kind and wonderful and sunny and nice, and I don't know. I just wanted them to make it, and they didn't, and so I'm sad.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
But I mean, this just proves a fact. Big brother couples last longer. Sorry.
What's their face still together?
Derek and Claire?
Yes.
You betcha they are. They are going strong. They posted some pictures today.
I bet they did. If I knew anything about them, they love a photo shoot.
Everyone wants a photo shoot from America's sweethearts. Okay?
That we've all forgotten their names.
I have not.
I know you haven't.
Derek X and Claire.
Yeah, she was your fucking favorite.
It starts with an R, her last name. Rifus? Something like that. I forget.
Well, in last Bachelorette news, this is just a funny story. So the last Bachelorette, Katie, picked a guy that essentially was her third choice because her top two choices left on their own. And so she picked this guy, Blake, who was on a previous season of The Bachelorette. And they were together for 6 months or something, announced their breakup. And soon thereafter announced that she is dating. And the thing is, soon thereafter, she started the thing where she's like, what if I did this messy thing where I go through all of the songs on Taylor Swift's Red and assign a song to each of the guys from my season? And it was like, okay. I don't get why we're doing this. She starts with We Are Never Getting Back Together with the guy that she was engaged to. Mm-hmm. She goes through the guys, songs. What do you think the last song she plays is?
All Too Well, or...
Begin Again.
Oh, Beginning. Okay. Did she go through the Taylor's version of?
She goes through the Taylor's version, and it's only 12 because there are only 12 guys on the season.
Okay.
And she
ends Begin Again like the regular album.
She ends Begin Again with a montage of her with another guy from her season that she's currently dating, and she kicked off night 2.
Night 2,
and it's John Hershey, or if that's your name, sir. He seems like a lovely man. He's a cute, Asian man, and he seems to love her very much.
He's very cute.
Very cute, but it's Katie.
Why'd she kick him off night 2?
I don't know.
He's cute. Don't kick him off.
I mean, clearly it all worked out for them, but it's also this just, the timing looks a little bad. It just is I hope they're good together and happy together, because I do like her in general. I think he seems great, but it's just that breakup announcement happened so recently. Did you like the winner who she ended up choosing? No. Okay. But it just felt like you guys would like to have sex. It just seemed like there was a sexual chemistry and not anything else. So I'm not sad for him for that reason, but it's a little quick. It was like the whole Portia, Simon thing when she, it just the optics weren't great. Which, by the way, Portia's spinoff show started tonight. I watched the first 1 minute or like 3 minutes of it, and it's all about the situation. I'm like, if I had my own spinoff show, why would I make it about like, hey, remember when everyone hated me for this amount of time and how I stole this woman's husband? Let's talk about it for 8 episodes.
She's giving the people what they want to see.
Am I tuning in? Yes.
It's like coming out Colton. It's
I know.
just like, he's just like, look, everyone wants to see me talk about this.
It's true.
Scandal that happened, this thing that I did. So let's at least try to humanize it in some sort of way.
Let's do it.
And see things from my perspective.
Yeah. Okay. This story is sad, but like also very weird. Did you hear about this Wendy Williams thing?
No.
So she has not returned to her show. They've had guest hosts for since it's come back this fall. Apparently it's doing very well in the ratings. But reportedly she is confined to a wheelchair and suffering early signs of dementia. And it's like, wait, what? Like, I know that she had addiction issues, and I don't know if this is something that can be a side effect of that kind of thing, but early signs of dementia seems, because she's what, 50?
Yeah.
It just is like shocking and terrifying and so sad, but I just can't imagine if there's a doctor out there who can tell us how this can happen to a person so young. Please let us know. Like
early onset, like Alzheimer's type thing, or just like dementia?
It says dementia.
Okay.
The word used in the article is dementia.
That's so horrifying, especially coming from someone who's, a radio host and then a talk show host who is so up on pop culture, because like when you're that person, you are with it and you are just like, I know everything about everything. And I remember when so-and-so did this a couple years ago.
And it's like to begin to lose that must be so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So, I want good things for her.
When did they discover this? Does it say?
I mean, the show got delayed before it started back up because she was having some sort of health issues that were kind of not discussed and not disclosed fairly. But this whole like confined to a wheelchair dementia thing feels out of left field. Like I assumed it was more like kind of addiction related, and maybe this is that, but I don't know. I just was very shocked to see that headline.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, in happier news, the This Is Us cast is getting a 7-figure bonuses ahead of their final season.
All of them?
The 7 that I believe began.
Because Lord knows I didn't.
The main adult, I was going to say that could have been you, because the main adult cast saw pay raises this past summer heading into the upcoming 6th and final season. It was initially met with resistance, but it's like, what can you do? So they agreed to a $2 million cash bonus for each of the 7 original cast members and a $1 million bonus for fellow series regular Huertas, who is kind of came in a little bit later than the 7 that started it as like a main series regular, but apparently the rest of the cast wanted payment equity between all of them, so they split up the money that he didn't receive so that everyone's had on the same level. But it's like, man, I know This Is Us is a giant hit, but that's real money. I mean, because that's just bonus. It's not like your salary.
Oh yeah. Well,
wild.
Fuck, could have been me.
It really could have
been me if I wasn't cut out. I would have been a regular
hairstylist spinoff. Come on, hairstylist. This is her.
This is her.
That's the thing. That would be the intro. Would be a remix to Adele saying that. Is there anything else that we really need to say? There's a gay Santa Claus commercial where like Santa Claus is gay and falls in love with a man.
Hot.
Have I watched it? No, but I'm happy it exists and people are mad about it. It's a Norwegian Christmas ad. Is there any other? Yes. Is there any other news for idiots that I may have missed?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so should we take a little break?
Let's take a little break.
We're gonna take a little break and we'll be back soon with more 2 Gay Mats.
Art isn't easy.
Art is never easy.
There was a Sondheim quote and you just
I don't
didn't acknowledge it.
I'm sorry, I don't know all of his quotes, but may he rest.
Remember that time last week when you talked?
All right, I was not going to mention that. Okay. I
feel bad forever.
I will not. But I wasn't going to mention it. I was not going to like make light of a man's passing. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we are on to Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions that you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com, 2 spelled TWO.
Yes.
Or you could comment below if you're watching this on YouTube. So this question comes to us from Zoe.
Hey, Zoe.
Zoe's, the subject line is something I can't really read.
I can read it. It says Matt Palmer was right, meaning it is.
It's not in a language I understand.
It is the best email we've ever received. Zoe, number one, thank you so much.
No comprende. Hi, Matt. A favorite quote that Matt Palmer said in a podcast or YouTube video that I tell everyone was, "You know you're old when you realize pop music isn't made for you anymore."
Facts.
And then Adele's 30 happened and made me feel like I got my groove back. LOL. What music or musical speaks to you differently now that you're in your 30s?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I find this question to be an attack. How dare you reveal that we're in a certain decade, even though we've said it before.
I was going to say,
times.
I don't think it's much of a reveal. It's public information.
I don't like to hear it out of other people's mouths.
Okay. Well, Matthew, is there a piece of art that hits you differently now as a 30-something?
Oh, God. I truly don't know. I'm trying to think if there's a musical. I mean, come back to me. Geez.
Okay, come back to you.
Is there like an album or something?
It's hard because I've been listening to music for 30-year-olds my entire life. Like my earliest memories are like listening to the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack where, Mary J. Blige is not gonna cry about her husband cheating on her, and I was right there with her. So, I mean, yes, maybe as things I've gotten older and been in more romantic relationships, things are hit a little harder in that way. Like if I listen to a Butterfly or a, Mia and Mariah, I mean, I guess I was old when that album came out too, but whatever. I mean, I can connect more with the lyrics, but I feel like I've always been able to put myself in those shoes because that's so much of what music was about growing up that it never felt like it didn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Like it always felt like, oh, this is real and someone's actual experience, even if it was not mine yet. I always was like, oh, I'm not going to cry either. Like, I get it. I just got it.
There are so many, musicals that resonate with me differently, or there are certain moments in musicals that impact me differently emotionally as time goes on, but not necessarily because I'm older, but maybe because I'm wiser and there's just more new things happening in the news cycle, like certain aspects of historical musicals like Ragtime and Assassins and stuff like that, and Titan, things that read differently to me because I know more about the world now. Like, to bring it back to Sondheim, like the Into the Woods of it all, that's a musical I find that I can discover new things about myself and about other people with each time I hear a song, a new time. I'm just constantly, interpreting things in different ways, and it just has so much depth to it and everything. And obviously, like as I grow and develop as an artist, Sunday in the Park with George, obviously, or bringing up again, has grown to mean so much more to me. I will say, like Tick Tick Boom, we talked about it last week, but when I heard it when I was a teenager, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
But like now that I'm, the whole first number is just like, oh fuck, I'm turning 30. And so clearly hearing that again recently was just like, okay, so that hits me very differently now in a way that didn't hit me when I was a teenager and heard it for the first time. So I would say that's an answer that I can give to Zoe that is directly linked to hitting my 30s specifically, because it's literally a song about turning 30s. I'm still like, and I love Company so much. Like Company is a brilliant musical, but I'm still waiting for it to really hit me like how it hits other people. I'm still not at that age yet, I don't think.
How old are those characters?
In the what age does he turn? Like 31 or something, or 35? I forget. But turning that age in the 70s was very different from turning that age now. So I imagine my late 30s is when I'll really be like, fuck Company, fuck.
Well, I look forward to talking about that on this show.
I mean, I love it so much already now, but like I just know.
It's coming.
It's coming.
All right.
In my late 30s, which I am nowhere near now.
I wouldn't know. You're not nowhere near. 19 is nowhere near.
Listen. Screw you. Matt Palmer was not right.
Matt Palmer, right again. Matt Steele, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What has been giving you moments, darling?
Okay, so before I left for Austin, I saw another movie.
Shock.
I know it. Sorry, guys. This is the time when all of the movies
Oscar
are coming
season.
out. It is Oscar season. So I saw A new film directed by Jane Campion, who hasn't directed a film, like a feature film, since like 2009, I think.
Wow.
She's a big time director. She directed The Piano back in 1993. She won the Palme d'Or for The Piano. And it's a film called The Power of the Dog. It's getting a lot of Oscar buzz this year, especially in the Best Director category. And it is a Western movie.
Oh,
I know. And westerns.
Matt Steele loves a Western.
Westerns are like I said about like sci-fi. It's like the wires don't connect sometimes for me, and I'm like, what's happening? I mean, the second a guy gets on a horse, I get off the ride. I'm just like, what is happening? But this Western was fucking excellent.
Really?
It is about a pair of brothers who own, a ranch, and they're very successful, very rich. One brother is very gruff and, for lack of a better term, gross and disgusting, and
tell us how you really feel.
Toxic masculinity galore, and the other brother is a little more sensitive and everything, and the other brother gets married to a woman who has a very effeminate son, and this other brother, who's just a total asshole, who's played by Benedict Cumberbatch, he's just a jerk and just terrorizes his wife, and is just a jerk to her son and everything, and it's
gross.
It's an incredibly slow burn, but the way Jane Campion builds tension in this movie is so masterful. Like the entire second half, you're just like, something's happening, but I don't know what. Something's happening, but I don't know what. Something is brewing. A plan is being hatched. Something is happening, but I don't know what. But I'm so invested. Also, there's some, homo erotic things going on, and so of course I'm just like, because I'm just like, what's gonna happen, but even if I wasn't a flaming homosexual watching that, it would still just be like, what is happening? And you don't find out until like the very end what has happened, but you're still just like, fuck, yes, that was what happening. I remember all the details that she put in there, and it's really, really well done.
I'm sorry, I hate to butt in.
Yes.
The homoeroticism isn't between the two brothers, is it?
No,
okay.
God.
Just making sure. I don't know what happens in this movie. I don't know what the whole theme is. I just wanted to hear that from you.
No. It's not.
Thank you.
Oh my God, no, this isn't. No.
I didn't know. I wanted to be safe.
And I would not be having it be giving me moments.
Everyone likes what they like.
It's okay. But the performances are excellent. Kirsten Dunst is finally probably going to get her first Oscar nomination.
She's never been nominated?
She's never been nominated.
That's crazy.
I know. So I could definitely see her getting nominated for this. Really, really great performances. Beautifully shot. I really loved it. I thought it was excellent work.
All right. Excellent. We love that. Congratulations. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
For me, I don't have anything major, but certain things are giving me moments. And I'm not a Nicki Minaj fan, as we all know. What She Did to Mariah, I'll never forgive.
You do love Super Bass, though.
I do love Super Bass. I love several of her songs.
And Stupid Ho.
I do. Several of her songs I love, but her, I can't, co-sign. But I must say, this fourth episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion that was hosted and moderated by Nicki Minaj, excellent. It's just so great seeing someone who come on who's so clearly a fan of the show and doesn't have to be impartial like Andy Cohen kind of does, and just be like, were you not just doing that for more camera time? Or like, what you said sounded ridiculous, right? And it's like, that is what we as the viewers want to hear. I wonder if Andy feels a little like nervous about how good her reunion performance was, because the people are going to want different people that are not as, tied to the Housewives franchise to host these reunions, so they can really ask the hard questions and really be the mouthpiece for the fans, which I feel like he can be to a certain extent, but they're also his employees. So he can't really go in like Nicki Minaj does. So I thought it was really great, really brilliant. I also want to say Insecure is really picking up. I haven't even finished the episode tonight, but I'm very invested these past two. I really feel like we're getting somewhere. I can't believe there are only 4 more left. Like, don't talk to me about it. I'm devastated, truly, but it is a great, great season. What else did I watch that I really, we watched the first 2 episodes, or probably more by now. We watched the beginning of 12 Dates of Christmas season 2, and I just want everyone to watch this show. I feel like no one's talking about it. No one knows it's back. No one watched it last season. They have 2 queer leads, guys. They have a gay male lead and a gay woman lead and 1 straight guy. And it's just campy, ridiculous, fun dating. It's like, for all those people who complain that there are never, that The Bachelor or Bachelorette never has a gay lead, this is the show for you. It's also Christmas themed. They're running around in this giant house that's snow covered in onesies. They're like, sledding and doing shit. It's just
you and the onesies. You see a onesie on TV and it's just like stars in your eyes.
I mean, come on. A gay.
That was why you were so excited to see the first time it premiered last year.
Gay dating Christmas onesies. I'm in. It literally is like the show I need, and I need people to watch it so that it remains a show on air. Okay?
Okay.
Because I feel like it's just not getting its due, and I can't have that. Because I think it's lovely, it's fun, it's light, it's frothy. You like it. It's on HBO Max waiting for you right now.
We need froth, guys.
We do.
It's been a heavy week.
Has been.
Heavy.
As we were both thinking it. Not Stephen Sondheim.
Not Sondheim, no.
Bill Condon. I'm kidding.
Bill Condon did not write.
I know that. I'm kidding. Oh, gosh. Well, is there anything else we need to tell the people before we say goodbye today?
We love you all. All the Sondheim stands out there.
Yes.
Hang tight. Listen to your faves.
Yes. Matt Steele is thinking of you. I am thinking of you.
And create new things.
Absolutely.
Whatever they may be.
And it'll be beautiful and wonderful. We can't wait to hear it, see it, ingest it, and love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with more 2K Mats, the podcast. Bye.